Our next speaker is someone most of you know pretty well. See Stephen Tucker, Truth About Obamacare, IRS target, patriot, leader of Chicago Tea Party, and my buddy.
Thank you, Ed. Look at this crowd, huh? For those of you who trotted down to Chicago with me and the rest of the members of the Chicago Tea Party for the last 5 long years, isn't it nice to be inside this year? Before I tell you a little story, I just want to pull an Ellen DeGeneres. You ready? Okay, everybody smile with me. Here we go. Selfie. There we go. Everybody get a nice crowd shot. There it is. Okay, see if we can sell those, raise money for the Illinois Tea Party. I've probably been at all of your Tea Party groups in the last 5 years, and I'll probably be back sometime soon. So you've probably all heard how awful Obamacare is. Before I tell you a little story, I'm just going to tell you that if you think things are good for Republicans now, just wait. Wait for the next few months. You see, thanks to Obamacare, every American in this nation, no matter how sick they are, is now barred by federal law from buying their own health insurance that covers pre-existing conditions until January 1st of 2015. Everyone say forward with me. Isn't that great? Yeah, it's going to be a great year for Republicans. Now I'm just going to tell you a little story about the importance of citizen activism. On November 7th, I was watching my new favorite show on Fox News, The Megyn Kelly Show. And there was a man that came on named Bill Elliott, and he was one of the 6.3 million policyholders who had their health insurance coverage canceled because of Obamacare. After Barack Obama said what to us over and over again? If you like your plan, you can keep your plan. And no one will take it away from you, except for me. Right? So I just want you to know that 6.3 million policies is just the policy holder, the primary policy holder. Each of those policies insured multiple family members. So you need to double, if not triple, those numbers. So the next time Hannity repeats his talking points, 5 million policies, portability, HSAs, you need to call him and tweet him and tell him, guess what, Sean? It's a lot more than 5 million. It's more like 15 to 18 million Americans who lost their health insurance. So one of them was Bill. And Bill came on the show, and my wife was sitting next to me, and he starts telling his story. And I'm thinking, 2-time Obama voter, you deserve it, right? And then he keeps talking, and he says, my policy was, $200 a month premium. It's going up to $1,500 a month. My deductible is going up to $12,000, right, a year. And I'm in my 4th battle with cancer. And she said, Bill, what are you going to do now? He said, I've talked to my family. We've prayed about it. And I'm just going to let nature take its course, stop my cancer treatment. And now I'm getting verklempt, right? And my wife is crying, and she looks over at me, she said, you can help him. And I said, yeah, I think I probably can. So I waited till the next day, and I friended him on Facebook. And he friended me back. And I sent him a private message. I said, Bill, I saw you on Megyn Kelly last night. My wife is crying. I'd like to help you. But we are on the opposite side of the political aisle. And the first thing he said to me was, no, sir, we no longer are. And I said, that's good to hear, because I've got some bad news for you. Yeah, your Chicago Messiah is a serial liar. 4 years ago, he started lying to the American people, saying, if you like your plan, you can keep it, when he knew, and so did HHS, and so did CMS, based on May and June postings in the Federal Register, that up to 67% of all policies in the individual market would be terminated by 2014. And yet he went and told us over and over again, if you like it, you can keep it. So I said, I want you to go to truthaboutpreexistingconditions.com, shameless plug. And on there, you will find Public Law 104-191, and I want you to zero in on Section 2742. He said, what is Public Law 104-191? I said, it's HIPAA law. He said, oh, I'm an EMT. I know HIPAA. I said, here's what you know about HIPAA, privacy, and that's where your knowledge ends. There's a far more important clause in HIPAA known as portability, specifically Section 2742. And in that clause, it specifically prohibits any health insurance company anywhere in America from singling you out, dropping your coverage, or raising your premiums at all based on a pre-existing condition. And that is precisely what Bill's health insurer did to him in the middle of cancer treatment. So I said, I just want you to go there, and I'd like you to print that out, and then I'd like you to send it to Governor Nikki Haley. She just happens to be one of us. And so he did, exactly as I instructed him to do. He gets a hold of me 3 days later. Now, he was expecting one of those form letters you get from Little Dick Durbin, right? No. 3 days later, he sends me a message and says, Steve, I can't believe it. The medical director of the insurance company called me 8 hours after we faxed it in. I can keep my policy. And I'm not going to have my deductible raised, and my premium's going to stay right where it is, because it is illegal what the Obama administration has been doing by terminating health insurance policies, and it's been illegal for 17 years. So, that's the good news. That's the good news. And he went on the air and told everybody how great it was, and now, by the way, he's in full remission from cancer. Thank God. Largely because he could keep his doctors and see his same hospitals, see his same medical dosimetrist, right? And he survived. That's the good news. On Thanksgiving Day, he goes on Facebook and says, I don't believe it. I'm being audited by the IRS. And I said, oh my God, I got a private message. And Bill, when did you get your letter? He goes, Thanksgiving Day. That's funny. It's the same day that I got mine. You see, they came back to Bill, after Bill, all the way back to the year 2009. They came after me all the way back to the year 2003. They don't go after drug dealers for more than 10 years. The average look back is 7 years, okay? So I contacted an attorney, right? And I told Bill the first thing you do is get a hold of Governor Nikki Haley. By the way, who's your congressman down there in South Carolina? He goes, a guy named Joe Wilson. Really? Really? You mean the guy that made Obama's arm go limp during the State of the Union speech when he called him a liar? Right? Yeah, that guy. I think he might be a little bit of help. Right? So they contacted a Democrat senator. And I know she doesn't want this to be told, so I'm going to tell this story right now because she's up for re-election. Kay Hagan from North Carolina actually made one phone call and made Bill's entire audit disappear, which is wonderful. What about me? Right? So I'm sitting at home, and I get a little phone call at 3:30 in the afternoon on Wednesday, and I pick it up. Mr. Tucker? Yeah. Mr. C. Stephen Tucker? Yeah. This is the IRS Treasury Inspector General. We've heard about your problem with the IRS. We've heard about it in the media. We'd like to talk to you about it as soon as possible. I said, oh, that's great. They said, can we still talk to you today? I go, no, it's 4:30. How about tomorrow? I said, no, I'm addressing a group of doctors up in Libertyville about your boss's health care law. Okay, what about tomorrow? I said, okay, Friday could work. He goes, how about 11:30? I said, that's perfect. Great, our office is at 230 South Dearborn in Chicago. I said, no, sir, you can come to my home. So I gave him my address, and then I called my attorney after I hung up the phone. Mark's been with me for 20 years. He says, this is targeting. I go, you think? He said, I'm going to take second chair on this. I want to hook you up with William J. Sneckenberg. Mr. Sneckenberg is the lead attorney, lead partner in the Sneckenberg, Thompson, and Brody law firm in Chicago. Has many hours litigating against the IRS. So he puts him on a three-way. I'm on the phone with Mark, and he tells him the story, and I tell him the story. He goes, all prim and proper. This is highly irregular. Yeah, it is, Mr. Sneckenberg. He says, they don't go after drug dealers for more than 7 years. I go, yeah? He goes, Mark, I want you to take second chair on this, my friend. I want to be at Mr. Tucker's house in the morning. So he came all the way from Chicago to my home, right? Comes in and says, let me see your tax documents. So I showed him my tax documents. He goes, let me see whatever else you got from 2003. I go, that's all I got. I don't keep records for 10 years. I got my tax documents. So he looks at that. He goes, let me see the letters. He goes, did they tell you why they're coming after you for $3,600 in 2003 and $2,100 from 2010? Right? I go, no, they just said I didn't turn forms in or something. The demand from 2003, they don't even have a reason. They just said, send us the money. And I said, can you help me? He goes, I'm looking forward to them arriving. So Mr. Sneckenberg sits right where my wife always sits, to the right of me, right? And 11 o'clock, there they are, the IRS Treasury Inspector General and one of his lackeys. And they show me their raised badges, raised lettering badges, and their nice shiny badges, which of course I paid for, right? I offer them to sit down, and they started their inquisition of sorts. I'm foolishly thinking that they're there to help me resolve my issues. No. You know one of the first questions they asked me? What's Bill Elliott's home address? Do you happen to have that? How about his phone number? Do you have his information, how we can reach him? I go, you're the IRS. Don't you know how to reach this guy? I go, we're Facebook buddies. So they go through all of their inquiries. What's your full name? What's your wife's name? Where does she work? What's your social security number? And I'm looking at Bill. Bill's like, just be honest. Tell him the truth. So they finished their little inquisition of sorts. And I said, are you done with all your questions? They said, yeah. I said, I have a couple questions for you. I said, you stated when you arrived that you believe that this is just a coincidence. That, quote, millions of people get letters every day. The fact that you and Bill got a letter the same day is just a coincidence. And I said, that's funny, because I just watched Lois Lerner plead the fifth in Congress. The only time you plead the fifth is when you have something to hide, right? And I go, then I watch your IRS chief attorney repeat the words, I don't recall, 68 times during congressional testimony. I said, so I don't think this is a coincidence. I think it is an issue of targeting. Well, we're not going to comment on both of those situations. We just want you to know that you resolve the issue as soon as possible with the IRS, and if you're not, you may be visited again, and as you may or may not know, we can garnish your wages, and we can seize your assets. And that's when Bill said, looks like it's over, happy holidays, there's the door. So they left. Bill gives me his business card, says contact me again. No sooner does the exhaust from their government vehicle dissipate from my driveway do I get another knock on my door. I open it up, it's the postman. This time he's got a certified letter demanding the full $5,200 by December 23rd, Merry Christmas, from the IRS. So I was hoping my attorneys could help me. I was getting nowhere, and so I called who I believe is the most powerful woman in the state of Illinois, Denise Gattoni. And I said, Denise, can you help me? She goes, I'm going to reach out. I know some people. I'm going to see if I can help you. So this may get a groan, but I want to thank Senator Mark Kirk and his staff. There's that groan, yeah. Because they are the ones who went to bat for me, thanks to Denise Gattoni, rallying the troops, and all of you, God bless you for faxing and phoning and tweeting to get Senator Kirk's office to help me. Because the good news is, the entire $5,200 has gone bye-bye, thanks to Senator Kirk and his staff. So never be afraid to speak out against this tyrannical, lawless regime that we are living under, because you never knew, by the grace of God, when you just might save someone's life. Thank you for listening.